get those crazies out of the government. We need our Congress for everyone's benefit. The 1%, they just take what they like. We've got to show up and vote for our rights. So vote in November. Vote, a time to remember. Vote, but don't be late. Vote, don't procrastinate. It's our country, our democracy. We can't afford mediocrity. If we do nothing, our hope floats away. Get up off of
How y'all doing, baby? It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We made it through Monday. Barely. But we made it anyway. Oh, shit, there's always one thing John always forgets to do. Right there. Anyway, it is Tuesday. It is time. Dorothy Tyndall was the first one to jump in, followed by Kelly, 1313, Penny Hartleman, and Bunny Griffin. Thank you very much. Annette Serrano, Dan Hack. Thank you very much. Roger Himmelwright, Demetrius Cephas, Jeanette Miller, and Janda Shedler. Thank you, Janda, for being here for so long, baby. I appreciate you so much. Yep. I even keep the empty brandy bottle. That's right. Anyway, Sammy Marcy's here. Tamara Harrington, thank you very much, darling. Stephen Scott, James Tripp, boy, howdy shit. Debbie Capran's here. David Ritchie, Nancy Halverson is here. Woo, Wanda Bell. Man, let me get this down here. We got a lot to go on. Anyway, Wanda Bell's here. Progressive Independent, Teresa Diggum, MLP, and Don Cheeto is in the room. Anyway, well, seems we have a battle going on between the judicial branch and the executive branch as far as this problem we have with Mr. Garcia being deported to El Salvador. Seems to be a real big problem. And, Supreme Court ruled 9-0 for the United States to facilitate his return. And Trump said, sure, we'll do that. And then they didn't do shit. And then President El Salvador comes down, and he sits up there and goes, oh, shit, damn, I can't do anything either. We're all just, powerless people sitting here. None of us can do a damn thing. Yeah. Well, the court's not too happy with that. It ended up in front of Judge, who was that judge? Paula Zenas, I think is how it is. And I think everybody was kind of looking to see a contempt of court judgment come out of that hearing today against the Congress, against the Department of Justice, against the Trump administration. And that didn't happen. And so I was kind of disappointed. Doesn't mean it's off the table. She wants to collect some more information. Yeah. And this stuff is just it's kicking a can down the road. There's more at stake than just Mr. Garcia at this. We have seen the Trump administration step up with disappearing people right off the street. One old boy was going to immigration today to apply for citizenship as per appointment, and guess what? Got arrested before he could get in the damn door. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that's going on. And yeah, it's going to be a showdown coming on. And it's going to be an interesting one to watch because the power of the court is supposed to be final. But I don't think the Trump administration believes in that shit. Anyway, old Miller guy doesn't. Anyway, Miss Chick, how you doing?
Oh, John.
Oh, Miss Chick. What a
Just, yeah, that. I had a bunch of notes that I was going to take, and then I got sort of waylaid and interrupted and didn't get to do my notes.
ah,
And
wing it.
then, and then
And
YouTube
then,
said, you need to relog in and blah, blah, blah. It's like, where did I put that password?
oh shit. Yeah.
But
If
I
I ever
made it.
lose my thumb, I'm in trouble. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's all thumbprint for me. Everything I do.
that's part of it. But I was trying to read up on the contempt of court stuff, and I'm not
Yeah.
exactly sure
What is
who
the
are they going to
mechanism?
hold.
Yes,
Is it a
that's
group
the
of
question.
people? Is it
And
one
what is?
person? Is it you hold the whole government in contempt? How does that work?
I think
Um,
it's directed at the attorney representing the Trump administration in court.
okay, so narrow it
I
down to
think.
that person or people, because they usually have people that work with them.
Yeah. This
But
is
I
a
did
test.
read the other
It's
part was if they do hold them in contempt properly, the other question was, well, who goes in and serves them or slaps the cuffs on?
what
So
is
I
the
did some
mechanism?
reading. Yeah, I read up on
That's the
that, and
crisis that we're in right now.
there is a mechanism. There is a mechanism, and to put it simply, you would normally think it would be the marshals that would do that,
U.S.
U.S.
Marshals.
Marshals, but no, John, no.
That's what I would. That's what I
The,
would. I would naturally think it would be the U.S. Marshals. But please go ahead.
well, what I understood was that the judge, depending on where they are, they can ask for local law enforcement to do that because marshals don't usually do that kind of stuff anyway, right? I mean, that's part of it, but it's like they can ask someone else to be their enforcers. It's actually in Constitution.
Hmm.
And I had all of that I was going to write down in notes, and then it didn't happen because I got waylaid at work, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, work. Always get to
And
the
then when
damn
you want to
work.
go find it again, you can't find it
No,
again.
no. I gave
At
up
least
on
not
making
yet.
notes. I used to scribble notes all over the place, but once I go to read something, then my mind just goes out the window. It's
Well, for
better
me,
if
the
I
note would
just.
have been where to look for the thing that I needed.
Yeah. At best, I have a website open off to my left hand side. CNN, MSNBC. You know, to give me a headline or breaking news or anything like that. Other than that, shit,
Yeah,
no. I'm like everybody else at this table. We come to talk. That's it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boy,
I
howdy.
mean, I usually have something, but I did pick something today that I was able to do, and um, this is from Robert Reich,
Yeah, I like him. He's good.
and he calls it this week's winners of the Joseph Welch and Neville Chamberlain Awards. So he's giving, these are awards that he had. They're his
Right.
own awards.
Right.
Right? So he's giving Harvard University gets the Welch Award, and 7 big law firms get the Chamberlain. But if you were, it says it, as you may recall, Joseph Welch was the brave person who stood up to Senator Joe McCarthy's communist witch hunt at the
Okay.
Army McCarthy hearings in 1954.
Right.
Asking McCarthy in front of the nation's television cameras, "Have you no sense of decency?" thereby precipitating McCarthy's downfall. So that's who he's basing his Joseph Welch Award on. And he's giving that award to Harvard University, which explicitly
right now-
rejected policy changes.
Indeed.
Demanded
And
by the
Donnie
public.
Boy's demanding an apology for that.
Oh,
Yes.
go
You know,
on.
that kind of just screams where Donnie Boy's going, because this shit with Harvard University. You know, what we're talking about is the First Amendment here. That's what we're
Mhm.
basically talking about. Your right to free speech, your right to have your own, form your own conclusions, your own, yeah, you know,
But again, he's using extortion. He's going to take away any
yes,
of the, research funding and things like that we
yeah,
know
cancer
all
research and
universities
other shit
do.
like that, gonna make
Oh
people
yeah,
suffer.
it's like 2.2 billion in multi-layered
Yes,
grants, along with 60 million contract.
I hope
But
I hope
Alan
they,
Garber, the Harvard's president, said, "Okay, do it. We're
yeah,
not backing down.
good
Take
for
away the
them,
money."
good for
Yeah,
them. You know
yeah.
it is a lot of money, and it funds a lot of
Yeah.
research at Harvard and other universities across the nation. And
But if they
and
take
where does
away your
this?
freedom to research, you're taking away the whole premise of a university.
Yes,
I mean, that's what
yes,
people do
where
at
ideas are
universities. They
supposed
learn
to
and they
be.
research.
Yes, yes, and it's no different now than it was back in the '60s or anything. There's always been political protest at colleges. How can you not have a political dissent in an institution where a lot of them are taking exactly that, government courses and such, law, and they have a right to speak up. Now, whether or not you agree with them, well, that's
Hmm.
a different story. But in this
Yeah.
situation, Donnie Boy is saying, "Hey, if you don't agree with me, you will shut your ass down, and we don't care how many people will hurt," which is what he's
And then, of
doing all
course,
across this country.
on the other hand,
Oh
there's
shit! There's another hand.
The Neville Chamberlain Award. Now, um, Neville Chamberlain, if you don't remember, was Britain's prime minister in 1937 to 1940, who tried in
Oh, of
vain to
course I knew
appease
that.
Hitler.
Of
So
course I knew that.
he was a chump. He would be the chump for Trump.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Put it in
Yeah,
perspective.
and that those awards go to. There's a whole list of big law firms that are agreeing to do Trump's bidding with free legal work and whatever, to not be
Yeah.
picked on, quite literally. Don't pick on us. We'll help you. Don't shut us down.
That's where
Yeah.
we are, though, and
Yeah.
it's going to rapidly come to a head. I mean, there's no other way to expect what's coming, to see what's coming down the road. This is going to come to a head. There's going to be a challenge, and that's when things are going to come out on the table. How many
Yep.
Republicans, how many conservatives are going to stand up for the rule of law and the Constitution versus what, you know, the Orange Julius wants
That
is
part.
demanding.
Where is? Yeah. Where is their integrity? Where is?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Integrity
just
in the Trump
morally
administration, that's a
bankrupt.
hard thing to find there. I don't think you're
Yeah.
going to find any integrity within that, you know, the White House, within his cabinet. No integrity, no courage. And that's obvious every time they sit around the table. It happened just the other day. We talked about it, how every one of them goes around kissing his ass. Oh, you glorious leader. You're the best ever. No, it's, you know, rainbows, sunshine, butterfly, all that shit. You know, and they lay it on
Yeah.
so thick that it's plain disgusting.
And
Hello,
I did see
Renita. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I did see an interview with our Governor Whitmer, who got slammed for being at the White House and looking like she was
Right.
licking the boots. And her version was a little bit different. She said, I went there for a private talk with the president, and she said it was sort of like an ambush. He was
That's what
escorted
I
into
heard.
this room full of people all of a sudden, and she said, I didn't get to ask the questions I wanted to ask or anything. And she
I think
said
it was a setup. They shoved her
she
into
said,
that
I
room.
didn't know
And
what
what
to
could she
do
do?
because part of me just wanted to leave, but then you don't just leave when you're meeting with the president. But yet, she said she stepped out for a minute to talk to her aide to like ask, what do I do? And the aide said, you better stay in there,
Boy,
you know,
that is
because
shit.
it would be even
Hold on,
worse.
Don Cheeto. That might be coming. Don Cheeto says, I want him to make someone shine his shoes on camera. One of
Yeah.
the Republicans will do it. Don't worry. Shit, I could
It
probably
was an
think of several.
interesting interview that she had. She was horrified by the whole thing.
Oh, howdy.
To say the
Hello,
least.
Juanita.
Hello, John.
How are you doing, dear?
Well, I told you that I had this mess with all these cats. They are about to make me crazy.
Oh, please.
I'm too old
Please.
for this shit. Well, I
You're
mean,
not telling-
I buried 6 kittens already.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's
Well,
bad.
a couple of mommies that have their babies walk away from me kind of crap.
Yeah.
So I've had
Yeah, that's
some
always
days-
sad.
all that crap. But yeah, how did our wonderful president did that? His sending Americans to El Salvador. I don't understand that. How can he just?
Oh, he wants to
going-
send U.S. citizens. You know, anybody
That's what
that
I'm
crosses.
saying.
Yeah, sure. Send them down there. Send them anywhere. Concentration camp somewhere. Don't worry. It's out of our country. We don't have to worry about it anymore.
I just can't believe it. But I would have never thought that this shit had happened in my lifetime.
None of us did.
It's just, I
None of
know.
us
I
thought-
just every day.
Well, we all got a hint of it in 2016 when he came around the first time.
Oh, well,
Except
yeah.
now he's more organized, and he has more of a backing. With the Heritage Foundation, other
Right.
major conservative groups that have gotten behind that I'm hoping are having a little second thoughts now, because he's gone full blown authoritarianism.
Stephen Miller is the worst person to me. I wish that. Well, I don't.
Oh, Stephen
I'm
Miller.
finished that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
little Nazi. Yeah, that's. Every time I see him on TV, I can't remember if it's Goebbels or one of Hitler's
Oh,
henchman comes to mind. Every time I see him, it's a physical thing.
it reminds me of The Simpsons. The guy that was like Homer's, the guy that ran the power plant or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
I can't
Yeah.
remember his name. He even looks like him. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Something else I read today had to do with the immigrants voluntarily deporting, where they basically, I guess, come in and confess and let you go home. Well, it actually said that Trump had said that might even give them a little bit of money and buy them a plane ticket to go home. And then once they do that, we'll figure out that might be somebody that we want to let come back. So all I thought of,
Yep.
don't be stupid, people. Don't, there's not going to
I didn't hear
be
that.
nice handling, and we're going to let you in if you're a good guy. Oh, bullshit. He's crazy.
He is. He is, but he's dangerous. He's
Yeah.
dangerous, and that's the problem. But and
I don't know. Hey, has anybody else heard anything about protesting on the 19th? I went down a rabbit hole trying to find out about this.
What's it?
And
Well,
yeah. Well, now what I got is because I tried getting a hold of people and hands off and move on and mobilize, whatever. And it looks like there's nothing going on in the state of Alabama that I can find out. But what they said now, instead of protest, they're wanting everybody on the 19th to do what they
Juanita,
call.
do you have your speaker on?
Yeah. Is
Okay.
it too loud?
We're getting the feedback through the speaker.
Oh, really? Let me
Yeah.
see if I can turn it down a little bit. If that
sometimes
makes.
if you turn it down, it does help.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah. Just, if you had a set of headphones, that'd be ideal.
Immigration lawyers? My husband just stuck his head in and said that Homeland Security telling immigration lawyers to deport themselves.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Want to know what that means.
Yeah, I think we need to deport the conservatives and keep the migrants myself.
Yeah, that's probably
They're
better.
a little
idea.
more. They're a little
Juanita,
more
in response
patriotic.
to your question, there
Yeah.
are, in Alabama, there are protests on the 19th in Birmingham, Dothan, Jacksonville, Mobile, and Montgomery.
Okay,
Oh,
so I went to the one on the 5th in Montgomery. So they are having one. I'll have to go through my old mail and see if I still have the contacts. Because I had a contact in Dothan and Montgomery for the first one, so maybe I can find out through them. But I mean, the sites themselves move on, and hands off just suggested a day of
right.
service that you should donate time or money or something on that day rather than all of us just always protesting. I guess we're supposed to, make a good
Well,
impression that, we're do-gooders too, not just
I think
protest.
I think protest
I
is going
don't
to be the
know.
name of the game. That's what
Yeah,
I
in
think.
some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to
Well,
be loud.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Foxwolf. How
Hello,
you
guys.
doing?
All right.
hey,
Now, there was a shooting at a high school earlier today,
oh
Oh,
God.
and it was in Texas.
really?
Yeah.
I had not heard of it. What are the particulars?
Not
Do you know
sure.
where it was, or
It says Wimmer Hitch High School.
mm, it's not bringing a bell with me?
Mm.
Is it just happening, or
It was like somewhere in Dallas area.
okay?
It was earlier today.
No, I hadn't heard about it. That's one of the tragedies of our society.
All right. It says
You know.
the call came at 1:10 at 550 5,500 Langdon Road.
Yeah.
One teenager shot? Is that what it says? At least
Any
4
shooting.
injured.
4 injured and 1.
Yeah.
That's pitiful. Hey, let me send out a quick thank you to our hands who came in with a $5 donation and said we need more institutions and judges and senators and reps to stand up. The Constitution shall not be usurped. Yes, that's where the need is. It's within our own Congress. Our side to stand up and scream, and the other side to stand up with some kind of integrity a little bit to continue to let him, do the shit that he's doing, and knowing it's unconstitutional.
Right.
And see, for that, I think honestly, the way to solve this problem with school shootings is have our National Guard in there as long as with our police department to make sure no more school shootings happen.
Yeah. How to stop school shootings? Well, there's a conversation that could be had. Guns are prevalent in our society. And the situation has changed. When I was young, my dad was a member of the NRA. I still remember his pistol box, his scope box. We'd go to the range and he'd fire at the range. He'd go hunting a lot. But we were brought up with safety in mind. That's not the world we live in anymore. It's not the father son out hunting. Guns in our society are the majority of them. They're weapons of war. It's
Boy.
yeah. They want an AR. They want something that's going to spit out a lot of lead. And it's sad for our own society. Why is my thing messed up?
Especially getting into the hands of the younger generation.
Yeah. And the younger generation has got, a lot on their plate, baby. If you take a look at the society now and, what the age of the internet has brought, and there's,
Oh,
not
yeah.
as much, yeah. The
I think
interaction.
more negative.
I would think so. with the advent of social media and instant messages, and there's not as much direct contact between boy and girl. Uh, it's mostly uh, over chat or something. And how do you fix that? I'm fucking old. You know, I'm living in the day. As a matter of fact, I was thinking the other day, my son and I were going down the road, and I was telling him all the shit I would have to carry with me. A payphone, for one. You'd have to have a payphone with you and have a continuous wire somewhere up there. You'd have to pull out a paper map. You'd just all sorts of shit that that we take for granted now in the age that we live in. But you can't back up. We're going forward no matter what.
Yeah.
But it just creates that another barrier within our society is what I'm saying. And how do you combat that? And some schools are. Some schools they've made it to where they cannot take a cell phone into school. They have to lock it up in a bag or put it somewhere where it's not accessible to them. And seeing how that works out.
The school I worked at, they had a resource officer on the school grounds all the time. And in the morning when the kids came to school, they came through a metal detector and they handed over their cell phones. They were logged in. And they were looked, like I said, the metal detector detected guns or whatever before they actually came onto the campus. So, but I didn't like it. It bothered me that we, as a society, had got to the point where our teenagers had to walk through a friggin' metal detector.
Metal detector, sure. That's the world we live in now.
Class.
That unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And you talk to some people, the answer is putting a complete fence around with guard towers and everything, and guards up in them towers with weapons to protect the school. Similar to what we call a prison nowadays.
A prison?
Yeah. That'll stop them. And, the answer to the question is not something that can come, we can't do this in a month, in a day, or a year. This is something that's got to change within society itself. And there's other countries that have done it, Australia, New Zealand, as a result of mass shootings, they increased I wish I could remember everything that I think I have in my head. Yeah, they had a gun buyback program. Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they had a gun buyback, which we could do in this nation. Ain't no reason we could not have a gun buyback program, offer a decent price for any weapon that you bring up there, and they all go through the fucking metal grinder. You'd get plenty of them. And, that
boatload.
It would be a start. But, that's not going to happen because our Congress is not.
John, can't they make weapons now with those 3D printers?
Yes.
They call them ghost guns.
Ghost guns,
yeah.
Sure. Why are my dogs barking? I always have to wonder why my dogs are barking.
My husband, he just brought that phone in. What it was a young woman who is an immigration lawyer in Massachusetts, was sent an email addressed to her. Her name's like Nicole, something like Bertoni, maybe it's an Italian sounding name. But the email advised her to leave out of the country before she was deported, basically. You got to go. She's a U.S. born citizen. So that I've heard a lot of stuff.
I don't know how that works.
I don't either. But I mean, she's an American citizen born here. She can't just be told she has to get out of the country. It's really bothering. It's worrying me because it seems like every day is a new step further into this bullshit, and it's soon going to get to where if they don't like you, you're out of here. be it El Salvador or, the North Pole, huh? But
Right.
it's ridiculous. I don't understand. Well, I do understand. We've got assholes in charge, that's, I'll come down to that. But we've got to stop it. It has to stop. I mean,
Oh, Lord.
not violently or, anything
Yeah.
like that. I'm not saying violently, but, it's going to take, I think it's going to
Well,
take
that's what we
some
have
of
to
the,
worry about is, I'm sorry. I got thrown off by a comment. One of our Blue Dots just lost her husband yesterday, unexpectedly.
oh no.
And yeah, I'm very in
Mm.
tune with that now. Um, Jamie, just our hearts go out to you, darling. Uh, yeah, nope, can't do that right now. Yeah, that's heartbreaking, and yeah, I understand how you feel. Anyway, Wesley Wiseman came in with a $5 donation and said people use guns now to show toughness, create fear,
Oh,
need to make owners with assault guns have liability insurance. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you got insurance on
sounds
everything
good to
else.
me.
You got house insurance, and car insurance, life insurance. Hell, get gun insurance. Make them have gun insurance. You damn right. There you go. Just the other day, me and my kids, uh, we go down to the bayfront down here near what we call the T-heads. It's where all the people park their big sailboats and yachts and shit. It's real beautiful. It's very picturesque. And there is a walkway and uh, uh, little gazebos all down the boardwalk there. The Selena Memorial is right there. Anyway,
Oh,
we're sitting there enjoying the day. Just everybody's out on their bicycles, little electric scooters, walking, enjoying the day. And here comes Mr. Billy Badass with his Make America Great Again hat and some kind of tight-ass T-shirt that said something. I can't remember what the fuck it said right now. And he's got two like Doberman pinchers on
oh
short
God.
leashes. Him and his girlfriend walking together, and they're on short leash on chain. And as he walks by, he's got a 45 or a 9mm, whatever, tucked in the small of his back.
Oh, for
All right.
God's sakes.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Walking around like a badass, like you got two dogs and a 9mm. I dare anybody to do anything within 100 yards. Fuck you. Are you shitting me? You little weenie. You gotta have two badass dogs and a pistol just to walk down the street? I think you're pretty well fucking scared. That's what I think. I think you're a little weenie who just has to project that you're some kind of big badass when all it is you're a scared little shit, and you
Yeah.
make other people uncomfortable, and that's how I felt seeing him, because why would you do that on a beautiful day? There ain't nothing around but kids on motor scooters and families enjoying the beach, and here you come walking down like you're some kind of guard over all of it. But that's a statement. That's a statement of our society. He thinks there's a need for that.
I had went to the
Yes.
grocery store and these three guys, where I parked out, but the three guys were closer and they got out of this pickup truck, all three of them. Now it's almost funny. They had on these huge cowboy hats and boots and literally
hey.
holsters.
Oh, okay.
They had holsters. Three of them walking into the grocery store. I got out of my truck and I thought, should I wait until I know that they're not going in there to shoot up the friggin' grocery store before I go in there?
It's what
You
I
know, 'cause-
think. I don't think you're there to protect everybody. I think, are you a whack job or something? All of a sudden, y'all got to.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's you
Three of
don't
them
know.
with their cowboy hats and boots, holds the whole 9 yards. I said, no, I think I'm
God.
just gonna stay in here a few minutes.
Well,
But see,
you
in Alabama, you don't. Everything's
in
legal
Texas,
here
you see
now.
it. You see it.
You don't have to
everything's.
have a permit.
Oh no, open carry here in Texas too. Oh, you don't need no permit.
Yeah.
Open carry, baby. Just put it on your hip. Walk around with it
It's
slung
like a-
over your shoulder. It's all legal.
It's like the friggin' Wild West.
Yes. Yes, it is. Hello, Lincoln.
Hey, John.
How are you doing today, my friend?
Not too good.
Ah, shit.
No.
Well,
So I'll give a little preamble. I want to make a statement here, but I'm going to give a little preamble before I make my statement.
go ahead.
All of these executive orders that
God.
are paper tweets at this point, I want everybody to think very hard about this Albrego Garcia case and this defiance of the Supreme Court.
Oh,
These
man,
paper
yeah.
these paper tweets become a reality in this country when we have an open defiance of the Supreme Court.
That's what we get. That's what we have right now. Open.
We
defiance.
also have reporting that airplanes, they're not only defying on the Garcia case, but on due process, they are still sending planes with people out of this country with no due process. So we are getting a doubling down against the Supreme Court.
Yes.
So I would just like to read this statement uninterrupted, and I know some people are going to disagree with me, but just
ahead, brother.
please let me read this.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
As I write this, it is Tuesday, April 15th of 2025. A little less than 25 years ago, the Twin Towers fell in New York City. The pit in my stomach I felt that day came back yesterday night as I was looking out of my windshield driving down the freeway, overcome with emotion and realizing that our democratic republic has officially collapsed like those two towers which fell on 9/11. The Supreme Court has now become a useless entity, as yet another hyperbolic statement that I have made before about grabbing people with European last names has been confirmed by the sitting president in the Oval Office, as everybody erupted with laughter in response to his statement. Just like Martin Luther King Jr. went down in history as the face of the civil rights movement, Kilmar Albrego Garcia will go down in history as the face of something much bigger, the fall of democracy. So just like on 9/11 when the towers fell and the country came together, I am asking for us to band together right now like never before, because this is worse than 9/11. Military for democracy, rise up. Veterans for democracy, rise up. We the people, rise up. John?
Lincoln, I can hear the
I love
passion in your voice, buddy. I can hear the emotion in your voice. And it is. We are in dire times. There's no doubt. We are in a constitutional crisis as we speak by a man who wants to be an authoritarian dictator and nothing less. As is demonstrated with the Harvard University thing. He's not only going after migrants or environmental laws or every other damn law you could think of. He's going after the very ideals our country is founded on. That's what we're battling.
So where I'm at right now, John, I appreciate everything you do, but I have to take a break from the show.
Not a problem,
in this
brother.
moment right now, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters to me but this Garcia case, which is so symbolic of something much bigger and more sinister, because we aren't here to save democracy anymore. Democracy is gone, and we have to get it back. And I hope that when I come back to the show someday, that the shirt I sent you will say 100% complete. Because
hold on, brother.
Your country has been restored.
Democracy will be restored. This is the biggest challenge our Constitution, our society has faced since World War II, since the riots of the late 50s and 60s. This is what our country faces every once in a while, and we have to show the courage to guide her through. And it is only going to be by our hand that's going to happen. We all fear a lot of shit right now. I do. Believe me. Not just metaphorically speaking either. Yeah, that's where we're coming down in this nation. Where you have to worry about violence, neighbor against neighbor, or it's getting downright scary. But we can't give in to that shit. We can't back down from it. As much as it's we've got to step into it. We don't have any other choice. I say it the only way I can. You adapt, you overcome, you move forward. That's the only thing we can do in our personal lives. It's the only thing we can do as a country. We have to overcome this shit. We can't let the society, this great experiment, die on the whims of the likes of Donald Trump, a two-bit flunky, a felon, a con man, a draft-dodging coward that some people in this country were ignorant enough to believe he had the well-being of a nation in mind. He does not. He's got his own pockets to be in mind. That's it. How he can benefit, how he can grift off this nation. And we see it in everything he sells. He'll sell anything with a name on it. He's disgusting. He's the saddest excuse this country has ever put forth. But it's by our hand, our voice, and our vote. And they're trying to take all three of those away. And we can't let that happen. I'm not going to let it happen. 8 years, over 8 years, been doing this shit. My voice ain't going anywhere. Anyway.
Even though we're all pissed right now, but we'll get through it. We got each other.
We will. We'll get through this. Not without some, what did Donnie say? Significant pain? There's going to be pain. There is.
Yeah.
In the economic outlook, in society itself, with what he's trying to do, erase, history to whitewash it, literally whitewash it.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, that's disgusting. It's un-American. It goes against everything that our Constitution and every other document that we hold dear. Those of our forefathers, those that have come before us, who, believe me, have suffered greatly to advance the cause. And we all know that. We all know that from history itself. The pain and suffering it took for racial equality, for women's rights, for gay rights. All of that.
And it's no time to stop now.
No.
Mm-hmm. You gotta keep going.
Let me send out a few thank yous. One to Silly Bebo, came in with $5 and said, WHS has metal WHS has metal detectors, and Dallas ISD has their own police department. Another shooting happened at the same school about a year ago. Well,
what the fuck?
Again, as much as it pains us to see that, that's a sign. It's a sign of our times. I really thought that after Columbine,
Oh man, yeah.
that things would, but it didn't. It didn't. And we've seen a generation of young people have to live with this shit, the fear of school shootings. That ain't right. And we have a Congress that is so sucked up to the gun industry that they're blinded by it, by the money they get. And David Robinson came in with $5 and said, 419, be there. Indeed. And as I said before, even if you can't make it to your state capital, look in your local area, because they're going on all over the place. in every town, everywhere across this nation, these protests, and they're going to get bigger. They're going to get bigger.
They
Because
need
more and
to.
more
We need to
people-
keep
yes.
it going.
Yeah. How
Keep
you
it
doing,
going and
Yelly
make
Man?
I'm good. I'm kind of pissed off at the
Yeah, you're in good company.
asshole that, the thing that he doesn't respect Supreme Court ruling that he's just deported people for no reason is kind of scary. But there's another thing he does. He's trying to fuck with the universities, and
Yeah.
today Harvard University stood up to him and said, "You know what? We don't give a shit what you think about our curriculum or whatever you think about
As well,
what we
as well they
teach."
should.
Yeah. So they said, bring it on, asshole. We're not changing anything. You don't have the right to interfere with our business because we are a private university. So fuck you. And they are the
Basically,
first.
yeah, that's didn't exactly use that language, but I think that was the intended message
Yeah.
there was to fuck off.
Yeah. He don't have the right. He don't have any right to use as a president to sit and try to decide what a university should teach or not. That kind of pissed me off. I have no words to describe how much that pissed me off. Because he said he was going to be a dictator, and
Day one,
here
baby.
it is. No. Yeah.
Yeah, he's only doing what he promised to do, and that's the defense he's using. But I think the
Yeah.
American people are going, whoa, back up the bus. We didn't think you'd go over the hill. Go over the top with this shit.
Well, he
There's a
did.
lot of buyer's remorse right now with Donnie Boy
He
and the
did.
way this thing's going.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Yeah,
look like it's going to improve anytime soon. Hey, let me
It's
make a couple of call outs because one didn't pop up because let me get Silly Bebo came in with $5, said don't forget about Andy Hernandez, Jerse Reyes, and Neri Alvarado. There are probably more. I don't know the context. My mind is not working totally, Silly Bebo. And I want to thank Peter, who came in with a $50 donation. It did not ding because Peter didn't put a message in there. But Peter, thank you. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that tremendously. Where were we?
So yeah.
Well,
No, we were talking about Trump
What
and
rat were we kicking?
him trying to sort of make decisions for the universities, and he doesn't want them to be woke. They shouldn't be teaching about gay rights and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous.
He wants anything done with DEI removed from their curriculum, which is asking a university like that to erase certain parts of history.
That's what
and
Hitler
nothing
did in
flies in
Europe.
the
That's
face
what Hitler
of
did.
the American ideal than that.
But that's what Hitler did in Europe, and he's doing
Well,
the same thing.
Don't think that we
Hitler
haven't
did.
done it here in the United States too.
No, and now you're burning books. What's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Where do you go after that? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe it's gonna ban.
And you would think that the mere act of burning books, which they have literally done, would stir that emotion, that memory of what that means. Where you've seen that before. Where have
we
you
saw
seen
that in
that before?
Germany, and
Yes.
you've seen that, and he's got his own little Goebbels in the White House. That I'm not going to say bitch on your show, John, because I have too much respect. But that little, that girl he has on his.
Oh, that little-
Levitt,
Yeah,
Carolyn,
Oh,
or something like that?
Caroline
yeah,
Levitt?
she
Caroline
screams
Levitt?
like as if she was like Magda Goebbels or something. I mean, she just behaves like a Nazi, and she's his spokeswoman. I don't know if you're probably.
Oh,
seen it,
are
John.
you talking about the press secretary?
Yeah.
press secretary? Yeah.
Yes,
I didn't
yes,
even-
yes,
I don't
yes,
know
yes.
what it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's Towing the line,
She's-
baby. I mean, she's all in. She is,
Oh, yeah.
drank
Oh,
the
yeah. She's like
Kool-Aid,
Hilda.
all of it. All of
Oh
it.
yeah, she's like Magda Goebbels, like or Frau Hitler or somebody like that. She could have been married
Yes.
to Adolf.
Oh,
Hitler.
she would have fit right in with Hitler's
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
propaganda machine.
Eva Braun,
Yeah.
or whatever the hell. I mean, and she's
it's
and
sad that we sit here and point out the similarities between Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler and Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un.
Stephen
Throw in
Miller.
him too.
Stephen Miller could have been
Woke Mike, I hope
like
you're right.
fucking. He could have run a concentration camp. He would have had no problem killing people. I mean, he
doesn't want to run one, but he's more than willing to send every one of us to a concentration camp inside or outside of this country, evidently. Because remember, Eric Prince has got that deal. He's trying to work, the guy from the Syrian war, the Iraq war, the contractor guy. He wants to have private prisons. He'll run them right here in America. That way you can put all of them in prison, and that way you don't have to worry about the immigration laws and all that. Just put them in concentration camps here in the United States, and Eric Prince can make a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, you already have gas chambers in America, so I mean, you already have a couple of important ingredients for concentration camps. So why not? Maybe you should just start the ovens and put everybody.
That's the other. It's we have in this country we have private prisons. Prison, it's.
Yeah, you even have.
They're traded on the international. On the national stock market. The company, I remember the name of the company that runs them, but they're just a string of prisons across this country, run by private corporations, and they make money when the prison is full, baby. You can't have an empty prison. You got to put people in.
Remember that sheriff in where was that, in Arizona or in Texas, who had this tent camp in the desert
yes, I remember him.
Where he killed people because he didn't give them enough water in the heat. So people died in his camps, and Trump gave him pardon, of course, because he was sentenced in the federal prison system. And one of the first things Trump did was give him pardon because he endorsed Trump for president.
Trump will go for prison reform the day he gets to be a prisoner. He could give two shits, But this whole recently, his little comment about sending Americans, but citizens and lawbreakers, to prisons outside of the United States, like in El Salvador. Think of the ramifications of that.
Where are the checks and balances?
That's what we're all wondering right now. That's what the whole show is predicated on today. We have a showdown between the judicial branch and the executive branch, while the legislative branch sits over there with their thumb up their ass.
Yeah,
that's what we got going on.
As you were saying that, he should be held.
He should be impeached already for violation of the Constitution.
And he should be held in contempt for not for ignoring a Supreme Court decision.
Yep, you're right. He should be held in contempt, and that's not not him personally. Again, that's questionable. We discussed. Yeah, we don't know exactly who it is that is going to be held responsible if the judge does hold.
Well, that must be the AG. She's the head of the Justice Department.
That's what I'm thinking.
Pam Bondi.
That's in the normal world.
It's Kristi Noem, and she DOJ, if I'm right. Jesus.
No, she's
Pam Bondi.
Homeland Security or something.
Pam Bondi. I'm sorry, Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi is the Attorney General.
All right, lock her ass up. Put her in jail until the court comply, until the uh, until they comply with the court's order.
You know, Trump has ordered so many things that, according to the way the Constitution is set up, the legislative branch is supposed to hold the purse strings.
Indeed.
And he's just making all of these executive orders that, about that involve money, that it should be the legislative branch that's making the decisions as
It is
far
the
as.
legislative branch that holds the purse strings. They are the ones that are supposed to
Exactly.
determine tariffs. Now, over the years, there have been a couple exceptions afforded to the president
Right.
to implement tariffs in an emergency situation, in national defense and all that kind of stuff. But Donnie Boy has just taken carte blanche. That means he's
Yeah.
got control of everything, and the only way to rein him back is Congress has to step up and do something.
Congress has to step up and do their job.
Do their
they
job.
Know what he's.
They're all
Exactly.
afraid of
They
him. The
know that-
Republicans, every one of them down to a
I don't
person,
understand. I don't
are
get it.
scared the shit out of him. I don't know. The only thing I keep running through my mind is,
What's What's
he
he
does
got
have the
on him?
CIA under his control. I'm sure he's got dirt on everybody he can get dirt on. I don't know. I don't know what would cause some of these Republicans to abandon their integrity, their self morals, just everything,
everything.
It's
to
gonna be
grovel
like-
at his
it's gonna
feet.
Be like, it's going to be like last year when he was in courts with all those cases, and they just delayed every fucking case. So eventually he got away with everything he did. That's why he became president, because he had so many fucking charges in the federal system and in the state level system, and every fucking case is now resolved. He didn't get a single day in prison. He is a felon, but he didn't get any punishment. So I mean, can he?
Yeah, it's an enigma.
So
Yeah,
fucking annoying.
it's how can this man,
And
with as
Merrick
much shit
Garland-
as we
Merrick
know
Garland.
he's done, be sitting
I
in the
wonder
Oval
what
Office?
Merrick
But that's
Garland-
where we are.
But what is
I
what
have-
is
Even if
Merrick Garland saying today? Because he allowed that asshole to get away with every fucking thing when he was
I'm
the
not
Attorney
too
General. He
happy
did
with
nothing.
that guy. Let me catch
No.
up real quick. Ed Beatty Jr. came in with $2. Said, "Proud to be a woker, and damn proud of it. Damn, mean woke. Proud to be a woker." And Wesley Wiseman came in with $5. Said, "Trump will be defeated. 4/19, it'll begin. We won't stop." Indeed. And Stephanie Dean came in with $5. Said, "I love Harvard's reply. They do not teach my 12-year-old granddaughter about Civil War and slavery. I'm furious." That's what I'm talking about. He wants to do revisionist history, to erase so much out of our history. And you know what they say?
Sorry.
Those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Well, he's wanting to repeat us into the I don't know what year that he thinks, what decade he thinks America was in its prime, make America great again. America's been a struggle since the day it started. It's never been over, and it's not going to be over, as is evident by what we're in right now. And let me get this young lady up here to speak. Anyway, Silly Bebo. Brittany, how are you doing? Uh-oh, dear, you're not lighting up. You're not lighting up. And I can't hear anything you're saying if you're speaking at all. I'm gonna cycle you back down and pull you back up again, see if that corrects anything. Everybody else is still here,
Maybe
right?
she has to fix her
Okay.
headset, because that's what happened to me a couple times. I had to readjust my headset.
I think she's been on here before.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
Right.
There she is. Silly Bebo, are you with us?
Yep.
Not a thing, darling. Not a thing. Not hearing a thing. It's got to be something in your settings, maybe, or But nope, I can't hear you a bit. See what you can do if you can fix that, and if you change anything, Raise your hand down there again, and we'll try that again. Anyway.
John, did you see today where E. Jean Carroll's case was being talked about? Because he still has not paid her a dime, I guess.
Yeah,
And now he's trying to figure out how he can, get out of that.
Is that a
finding
new story?
loophole.
That sounds like the
Yeah.
same old shit he's always done.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't
You know.
pay his bills of any kind.
No.
But, this is something
It's-
that.
It's always delay. As soon as the court, he appeals it, or he files another complaint, or, whatever he does. I
He's
wish
a
the
hell of an
court would just
example.
tell him just outright.
I just need you to shut the
Uh-oh.
fuck up, 'cause nobody asked you, bitch. I need you to shut the fuck up,
That's
bitch.
right.
Shut
Grab
the
him
fuck
by
up,
the balls
bitch.
and twist, baby.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Bow, bow. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow, bow.
That's what the court
Shut
needs to
fuck
tell
up.
him.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut
Bow,
the
bow.
fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bow,
Bunch of
bow.
bullshit. That's all he's
Oh, I
got to
love that
sell.
song.
I know, me too. Puts a smile on my face every time. I saw somebody in the chat just a minute ago. Where's the song, John? So, see, I'm paying attention. I can't see much of that chat because if I start reading the chat, then my mind is there and not where it's supposed to be. There's silly Bebo. Let's see
There's
if
Bebo
anything's.
again.
Yeah, she's got her hand up. Let's see if we can get her up here this time. Brittany, are
Okay.
you? Yes, there you
Yay.
are.
Holy poop. Okay, I think, yeah, with my headset, I derped and didn't realize I had it muted.
Oh, well
Derp.
then it was just something simple.
Gotta
How are
do
you
it.
doing, dear?
Doing okay. How are you all?
Hanging in there day by day. That's what we do.
Yep.
Got something to
And
fight for, though, so a reason to get up tomorrow.
yes, and those names are other people that have been, that are people in El Salvador that were taken
Yes,
illegally by far.
yes. Mr. Garcia is not the only one.
No, he's not.
No, there are others that have been swept up in this shit without due process. And I thought that was the main, oh, shit.
Like the whole
Shit.
point of our justice system.
it's just gone.
I'm fixing to lose everything because I forgot to plug something in.
Oh, poop.
You got a dead battery. Shit, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
See, just that was enough to distract my ass and going, oh, what were we talking about? Shit. Story of my
John,
life
we were talking
nowadays,
about,
baby. It's,
Yeah, we were talking about deportation and that they just like deport everybody, from the streets to El Salvador.
he's willing to deport anybody that
Yeah.
pisses him off. That goes,
Even like he said,
he's
even
a vindictive
homegrown.
asshole. We all know that about him. This whole
I'm so
retribution
I'm so upset by that.
thing that he's got going on. Anybody that ever crossed him, ever said anything bad about him, or I don't know, he'd probably go back all the way to junior high and go after somebody that made fun of him back then. He's that kind
Or
of
if you
guy.
if you even watch some of the videos that his niece has been putting out about how he and her father were raised, that's a lot of it too.
Oh, did you hear about what his sister came out and said something today too? I can't remember
Oh,
what
really?
it was, but his sister came out and said something.
Bobby come out and said, I don't want to be associated with his ass. It's don't look at me. Yeah, he's an embarrassment, I would imagine, to everybody around it. Well, we say that, but if there's people like him, there's other people like him. Stephen Miller standing right there next to him. What kind of, tell me the saving grace in that man's life.
He is a Nazi. He's a Nazi.
He is a Nazi from word one. He acts like it, speaks like it, acts like an authoritarian. Every time he speaks, it's like, I dare you to say anything. I mean, this is the way Trump does it. And Trump is the greatest. And it's a cult. And that, they've been saying that. You see it all over. It's a cult. It is. It's either
I'm sorry,
that.
John, but today I'm kind of pissed off today because I just read the news before I came on, and I just saw that thing about the universities, and that really pissed
Yeah.
me off because
That's
that
that's
is so.
the outrage de jour. Tomorrow it'll
Yeah.
be something. Tomorrow it'll be another outrage because that's what he's doing. He's throwing wrenches into everything. This is not
I'm
a
not,
single
I don't mean
assault on
to sit
everything.
here
This is a
and
mass assault on everything we hold dear in this country.
Throwing a
I'm not going to
shit
sit
ton of
here and swear on your show, John, but today I'm just pissed off. Ugh. But I know
Yeah.
I'm sure you know the feeling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. After
My bad.
that's all right. That's all right. I seen it. I noticed it. I seen it. Hey, I see a new name I've never with their hand up down here. We've never had in the room. So let's welcome. I don't know how to say that. AFOSF Echelon Sky. How you doing, brother?
Good evening, sir. I just want to say it's a pleasure to finally speak to you. I've enjoyed your
Oh, it ain't
content.
that big a deal.
You've been taking a lot of the negative energy out of the experience for me. I'm a real rule of law kind of person, and yeah, we're under attack by this person in this
We are
country,
indeed.
and we need more people like you to stand up and speak out.
I appreciate that. This. Yeah, I don't recommend it for everybody, but yeah, in whatever way you can, that's the best thing we could do because there's never been a more important time within our lifetime to stand up for this country. And doesn't that sound corny that it's our side that's playing the patriotic music right now, in meaning it? It's not just a facade for us. It means something. To where I swear on the other side, all you got to do is wave a flag, get a bumper sticker, a red hat, and you're good to go. That's not what America is.
It's truly the height of hypocrisy how the cult of personality on the right likes to flaunt their supposed values when in fact all they're really doing is gaslighting and calling themselves out by demonstrating how truly hypocritical they are.
Indeed, with their own actions. The racism, misogyny, all of that. The authoritarian leanings. It's a scary thing to watch so many in our nation. But I think that's turning. I really do.
Well, I think the president may come to regret the day that he canned all these veteran combat vets.
Oh, yeah, boy, howdy.
Yeah, there's some people. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that in itself, not just the VA, on every director, every every department of our country has been under attack by this man. Tens of thousands of people have lost their job. 20,000 out of the VA. He's gone department by department and just indiscriminately firing people. And in a lot of cases having to go back and try to rehire those people because, oh shit, they fucked up and didn't know that John Brunk over here was in charge of a critical, part. There's no rhyme or reason to the shit. He just wants numbers.
Elon Musk is facing class action lawsuits for violating the Computer Security Act for what he did.
Really? I hope so.
Yeah.
My worry is the damage is done. He's got his people in there. They've gotten information.
I'm just going to say,
How do you
all
get
the
that
information,
back?
he's already done it. Can't.
And what, there's an immigrant that I'd like to see deported out of here.
I think we all would.
If there's one that's really hurting this country big time. Y'all worrying about Juan coming across the border and over here working in the fields and shit, and you think he's out to destroy your country? No, it's somebody like
Can I-
Elon Musk
John-
who's got the money and the power to do it.
John, can I just ask the last guy who joined? I mean, you have a weird name. Where you come from? Do you come from America? Or do you come from Europe?
Oh, hey, thanks for asking. The name in Discord is actually my FCC radio call sign, Alpha Foxtrot 0 Sierra Foxtrot,
Okay.
and then I just use Echelon Sky as the nickname.
Okay.
But I'm retired in Denver, Colorado. I'm 57, and
Oh, really?
I can tell you, having gone to law school 35 years ago, I don't recognize my country anymore.
Isn't that a shame?
No, it's nice
Isn't
to
that a
talk to
shame?
you. I just wanted to say hi to you. You know, and yeah, since you're I could hear that you were smart actually when you started talking.
Mile High City. I passed there. I went there not
Yeah.
long ago. Went to Pikes Peak and all that. Me and my son. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful place to live,
Oh.
indeed. I just want to throw out there that I had a heart attack at the end of January and had triple
shit.
bypass surgery, and then
Damn.
2 weeks ago, one of the grafts failed, and I had another heart attack.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Well, don't get
I think
overexcited
Trump
about
in our bit
politics.
doesn't really help. Don't get excited now.
Turn on the Discovery Channel and just watch some nature shows or some shit for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I've been engaged in this culture war for many years, and a couple of heart attacks aren't going to stop me.
Well, bless your heart for doing it. And I mean, literally, for taking that attitude. You know, a lot of us are getting up in our age and shit. You know, there's things we have to worry about. And, but man, take it easy there. You know,
Take care
don't
of your
push that
health.
shit.
That's important.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
I
You know,
appreciate
how are you
we
doing?
need
How are
your
you
vote
doing now? Yeah.
and
Well,
your
I
voice.
appreciate the opportunity to. I appreciate the kind words and the opportunity to speak to y'all. You know, the road to recovery is a slog at this point. My heart disease is pretty advanced, so circulation
Sorry to hear
just
that.
isn't what it was supposed to be. But I'm still alive. It's still another good day above ground. I took the dog for a 20-minute walk in the park this morning.
And you're
can,
only 57, right?
Yeah, but
that's
you know,
really
it's
young.
sort of a byproduct of it's sort of a byproduct of American exceptionalism, a rich diet. So
Okay.
Gotta do it sometimes.
There's a lot.
Do you,
we have,
do you
unfortunately,
might
in this
need a
country, heart disease
transplant
is a
or
big
something?
factor. You know,
Are they talking about a heart transplant for you or something?
not at this time. Not at this time. The second heart attack had me in the hospital for 5 days, and they put a couple of stents in to improve circulation. But right now they're treating it medically with chemicals. So I'm on all kinds of vasodilators and blood thinners.
Okay.
it's scary. I know my son Tyler was recently hospitalized, and he's only like 29.
Yeah, he had
a blood clot.
A blood clot.
Yeah, blood clot in his leg.
How is he doing, John? How is he
He's
doing?
doing fine. He's staying on his medication. We walk. My kids will walk me to death. You know, I swear. You know, let's go for a walk, Dad. Let's go for a walk. And shit, you know, Dad's getting, my bones are sore. You know, I can't walk as far as I used to walk.
The Rolling Stone gathers no moss.
Well,
Walking is
that's
definitely
what
a way to
I'm
stay alive.
reminded of all the time. I have to take an occasional break every once in a while and let them roll on, and I'll catch up. But you know, we walk a lot. There's a lot of parks, and that I didn't even know. You know, my whole life living here, didn't know as many trails and parks that were available. So yeah, if anywhere you're at, there's always some place that you could take a walk. And you should, to get away from the TV, the news, life in general. You know, go somewhere where you're just staring at trees or ducks or, you know.
Yeah.
We have a large pond.
That helps a lot when you're stressed out. And my advice to you, Eklon, is, you know, take a break from politics. You know, watch something funny. Go and watch a Monty Python joke or something. You know, that will help you. You know?
Yeah, as a news junkie, I've had to develop the discipline of limiting my exposure to the negativity. Just want to add a little bit in
I
there.
just saw a very funny Monty Python joke. They
You know,
were going
I know I'm just being funny here, but y'all can kiss my ass
what?
because I have to
What?
delve into this shit every day. Every
Yeah.
day I open my mouth, I start this camera, I do a rant. I got to go dig into the fucking news, and it does. It gets depressing every day, every day, every day. So yeah,
God.
long
Yeah, but
walks
John,
in the
I just-
park are a good idea.
I'm just gonna tell you about a little like this funny Monty Python joke I saw. It was called a Russian execution. Russians were gonna
no.
execute a guy, and they put him up on a wall, and they had 10 shooters, and they shot him, and they all missed. Nobody hit. You know,
I think there's a rule.
I mean,
I think there's a rule. You
Yeah.
had one chance. That's it. You only get one
Well,
shot.
that-
And
You miss.
stormtroopers.
That humor has the ring of truth after what we witnessed
Yeah.
with the sergeant class with the Russian army. They weren't even able to use their high frequency radios when they invaded Ukraine.
No, Dumb and Dumber. You know.
Yep.
The whole Ukraine thing is I think it's a metaphor for exactly what Donnie is. He's instead of coming in and adding to the sport in Ukraine to bolster the EU and NATO to align with Ukraine, he's done everything he can to kick Ukraine in the knees.
Didn't
And
he
everything
say
he can
yesterday
to
that
kiss-
Biden
kiss-
started?
Yeah, he
Didn't
said
he-
Biden
Putin's
started
ass.
that war.
Didn't he say President Trump said yesterday that Biden started the war in
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course he did. Biden did everything bad. Everything in history that Biden is responsible for. That's the Donnie's. It's all of them. They always.
I mean,
the two things
yeah,
they kiss
yeah.
Donald Trump's ass and badmouth Biden. And
Fucking
the
asshole.
bad mouthing
Well, this
Biden
whole
just
thing
goes a
with-
little too far.
Of the bourgeoisie and the proletariat in the French Revolution. Class. So the professional class has been rude for eons, and the resentment has grown with the development of artificial intelligence in Google. People don't respect subject matter. People like Trump can be believed because he's just the loudest voice in the room.
Yeah,
and
we
AI
all saw that
creates
when
its own issues, its own
yeah,
problems.
but we all
for
saw
our
that
society.
during COVID that everybody became their own doctor. Everybody knew what was best. And even
Sure.
Trump talked about bleach and
Bleach.
and whatever.
Bleach
yeah.
in your lungs.
Ivermectin.
Ivermectin. There you go. Get the
Didn't
horse
you-
shit.
I remember you made a video that day, John. I think you called it a bleach margarita or something like that. That was the
That's on
title
his
of your
playlist,
video.
baby.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't suggest eating Tide Pod.
Give him time.
Well, the problem is
Give 'em time.
the problem truly is stupidity and ignorance. We're seeing this in Texas right now with the measles outbreak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yes.
aren't you confident? Aren't you very confident in the Health and Human
RFK.
Services Director?
Totally.
Yeah.
He's not even a quack because he's a doctor. He's just a kook.
He's just a kook. He has no medical training at all. That's it. None. But he's the poster child for what Donnie has done. You don't need experience in your job because you ain't got no job because Donnie's going to tell you what to do. It's the Almighty. That's how come he put all these idiots in charge of everything because they ain't got nothing to say anyway. They're just a figurehead. Donnie will decide. He'll slap them upside the back of the head and tell them what they should say. And that's all there is to it. Marco Rubio being a prime example. And that guy's been around a while. He's been in
This whole
politics for a long
administration-
time. We've all seen him. And now all of a
he's
sudden he's
terrible.
like the little kid that gets whacked upside the back of the head.
This whole administration is effectively a destructive instance against our common values, and that being the truth and science that we've experienced in this great nation of ours. They are attacking our common values at the core, and it's terrible.
They're trying to, back us up from the progress that this country has made. I say often that the DEI that he is fighting against right now, that is just the new words for everything that we fought for. Everything, racial equality, women's rights, gay rights, everything. Every right that we have fought for boils down to DEI, diversity, inclusion, and
my only
equity.
fear though,
equality. I'm
No,
sorry. Shit.
My only fear, and this is my only fear, is that because we have drunk ass Pete Hegseth in office, I don't know when he's ever going to hit. I hope he doesn't ever hit that button, but if he gets drunk enough, he's going to hit that button.
Well, thank goodness it's not a literal button he can hit. There are others that have to be agreeable to that for that to happen.
I think the only real
but
hope
Hegseth
are-
is a
the only
prime
real hope-
example of somebody who should
Yes.
not be in the position he's in. He is not
Absolutely.
qualified to
He
be
is totally underqualified. Totally agree.
underqualified.
Completely underqualified.
He's a drunk Fox News personality. That's who he is.
I think
A
one of my
weekend one at that.
the true hope that I have is that our general staff officers in our military are comprised of highly educated people that will resist anything that is illegal.
Where's my? That's what I'm counting on, brother. We took an
Tell
oath
him
against all enemies, foreign and
And
domestic.
And domestic.
And we have never had a situation to where the domestic part of that oath really came into play. But I see it happening now because I see how we've seen how he has tried to use the military before. And the military is not made to act as a law enforcement in this country. It is here to defend us from foreign adversaries.
Hear, hear.
But he wants to use it as martial law, and even in martial law, that's the National Guard.
Well,
think that
Can you
might-
imagine?
Go ahead.
I think that might be why they're wanting to do protests on the 19th, because it was like rumored that he might try to pull some sort of martial law BS on the.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have to be concerned about. We have to keep it non-violent because he does want that. He wants an excuse to declare martial law across the country, to have troops in the
agree.
streets everywhere.
The conspiracy theorists have been talking about a false flag event for a long time. And if I may just segue into my personal wheelhouse, I believe the extraterrestrial agenda on Earth might put him in a catch-22 situation that he could definitely be in trouble with.
Yeah.
The extraterrestrial.
Yeah, so with disclosure happening, with David Gresh's testimony, I believe we're in a post-disclosure era in America. And Trump is caught between a rock and a hard place where he's promised to open up our national security secrets. But if he does so, he will be inviting the ruin of the American way of life, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He's opening the doors of hell into this country, metaphorically speaking.
Pandora's box.
He's doing all he can to make everything like hell.
He's
He wants
doing
to
everything he can to wrestle in an age of authoritarianism in this country. He wants an oligarch system,
Let's
just
do
like
it.
Russia has, where
Why don't we
where
just-
his wealthy buddies will control everything. Don't worry about it. It's all under
Let's
control.
make everything as hard as possible. Let's make everything as hard as possible.
Well,
that is Trump.
Go back 8 years ago, you'll hear me say the same words. The Republican Party wants a workforce that is poor, hungry, and needing a job. Because if you're poor, hungry, and needing a job, you're not going to quit the job you got unless there's something else better. And you better make sure you have it before you quit the last job, because you got to pay bills, you got to buy groceries, you got to put, put gas in the tank. Occasionally it'd be nice to take mama out to dinner. But yeah, that's not the society they want. AI is, the future of production itself. Manufacturing itself is.
And people seem to
aliens
forget,
don't
because he
want
does so
Trump.
many stupid things, that he has made massive cuts into Social Security. He's going to give a cut where Medicaid,
I've seen more than
he's
one
gonna
comment
take away.
go by here in the comments about people are worried about their Social Security, and I'm one of them. Since I reached Social Security age, I've never thought about, well, is it going to be there? It always is. And why am all of a sudden I'm concerned, and a lot of people are, that they're going to have some screw up in the system, and we're gonna have to take a look at your Social Security here. We'll get back to you. That kind of shit. And Social Security is one of the most secure.
You have a French sounding name, John. Are you a real citizen? That might be the question.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it sounds French, but it's Swiss. It took me years and years of my life, decades of my life, to find that out. But we traced my family history not through one of these systems. I had a cousin who did a thesis on.
If he deports you to Switzerland, it's not going to be the worst country for you to live in, If he decides to deport you, because we don't like John's filthy mouth,
It's not deportation I worry about. I worry about the temperature.
Now, all you have to do is look at history and see what happens when the rise of an authoritarian regime stomps out free speech in the press. The misinformation takes over and the propaganda becomes thick. People will basically lose their centers and act out in hideous ways. So, yeah, I feel for you down there in Texas. Colorado's a much safer place, in my opinion.
Well, it's where in Texas I am. It's my problem. But evidently I'm buffering.
Where are you?
I'm in South Texas. I'm right outside of Corpus Christi, Texas. Sparkling city by the bay. We used to be a very blue district until the Republicans took over the state capital here and redistricted everything and turned everything into a red district. So that's why Texas is red.
My mother was from Corpus Christi.
Oh, is that right? Well, there you go. There you go. It's a beautiful day down here. I mean, it's a beautiful city to live in. It's not too big, but it's big enough to. It's growing. It's growing a lot.
She lived there. She lived there when she was younger. Then moved to Virginia. Then moved to Maryland. Then moved to West Virginia.
Back in 1980. All right, Michael. Yeah, a lot of people have evidently been in Corpus.
It's just heartbreaking but it's heartbreaking that you're surrounded by a bunch of animals like that who will harm.
It's only on my street. My street. And I live on the very edge of the county. The county line is in my backyard on that river. And, it's a mile from my house to that road up there that goes to town. And so I'm a good 20 miles outside of town. But my road, and it's only one road, dead ends down here at my house are both,
you're never
dead ends right
moving?
down here. But it's a mile from here to my mailbox. And I don't have any friends on that. So it's like
it's very
not
sad.
running a gauntlet every day, but it's an uneasy feeling every day I drive in and out of here.
You need an armored vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and get good counsel.
What I need is neighbors who don't take politics personal. I lived on this street for 20 fucking years. Didn't turn this way until 8 years ago.
We should go down to John Everybody and have a fucking gay parade down his road.
Every American should
pretty
take
democratic
the time to
city.
educate themselves. Educate themselves on the gray line between legal and illegal police behavior. There are things that the police will do around gun ownership, the Second Amendment, that are in the gray zone. And if you know how to respond to it, you can protect your rights.
It's always be knowledgeable about the law.
But it's
baby.
not. But it's not a pleasant to. It's not pleasant when every neighbor doesn't like you, you know, and when they bother your animals and do what they did to John. I mean, they even put up fireworks.
Let's just say no. There's just a lot of practice firing going around here. You know, there's firing a weapon around out, especially out here in the country. It's not illegal. You can shoot all you want out here, and they do.
Yeah.
So that's the way that is. But no, a prime example was yesterday. 20 years ago or 15 years ago, what happened on my street, I would have been out in the street to find out, hey, what's going on? An ambulance came down the street, stopped over here near my house. Next thing I know, two fire trucks, not the kind that shoot water, but the kind for brush fires, more like emergency vehicles, are out here in my street. And I didn't feel comfortable walking out there to find out who on my street was in distress. And that bothered me because I didn't go down there. I didn't. And any
Does
other
your son
time
have the
before I
same
would
situation?
have.
Is the same
I'm
thing
sure
with
they
your
did
son?
when the ambulance came to my house. Nobody came up here. Nobody came up here to see what happened.
Don't be one of those Americans that has lost their self-preservation instinct. Ben Franklin's motto that
brother,
mind your own business is a good way to live.
Yeah, I take my security very seriously. Very seriously. There's not a piece of my property that isn't covered by security cameras.
Yeah,
And
when
I
it comes
watch
to the
them
government
constantly.
and government action in your
That's what the
neighborhood,
problem
just
is.
stay on your own side of the fence.
That's it. That's it.
Don't get involved
good
with the
fences
government.
make for good
ever.
neighbors, and I got fences all around this shit. So,
Damn Skippy.
but I digress. It's we got to make it a better place. Is what
Yes.
and what that takes, I don't know. On the street I live on, or where you live. I hope that your neighborhood where you're living, you don't have that kind of animosity amongst close neighbors. But I know
this being federal tax day, I can just say that I haven't had a tax liability in 25 years because of the way I structured my assets through the use of lawyers and statutory loophole. So knowledge is power, and everybody deserves good counsel.
Indeed. Hey, let me send out a big thank you to Keith Thompson. Came in with $2 and said, "And the MAGA/GOP want my SSA payments." That's the fear, baby. That's the fear that we're all worried about nowadays, and it shouldn't be that way. Anyway, I guess we're going to wrap it up for the evening. Call it a night. I want to thank everybody for coming in. I'm just going to call you Echelon, unless you have a first name you go by, or.
Yeah, it's D. Michael in Morrison, Colorado, and it's really a pleasure to talk to you, sir. And thank you for all the kind words from all the other speakers.
Well, don't be a stranger.
Take care of yourself.
The table's always open here, so come back. But we appreciate you coming in this time. All right. Anyway, Foxwolf.
Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Hey, thank you, bub. Appreciate you coming in, joining the conversation. Hey.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute. Jesus.
What?
Go ahead.
Silly Bebo.
Yeah.
You totally forgot you was here.
Did I say anything to you when you came in the room?
I think you did. Yeah, you did. Because we were like wondering what incarnation.
Well, okay, of course I did.
my
I was just testing to
microphone.
see if you remembered. That's what I was doing.
Sure.
Oh, fudge doodles.
No, I think we overspoke you, dear, or something. You didn't get much to say.
No, you're fine. It's all good.
All right, well, let me get rid of these guys here, and then I'll be back. All right, Fox, you're
Yeah.
next, buddy. Buddy, we
All right. appreciate
appreciate you coming in. Take care of yourself.
I guess we're heading over to the blue room.
All right, we're heading over to the blue room.
All right.
All right. Indeed, brother. Indeed.
All right.
All right. And Yelly Man.
All right, John. Sorry for swearing on your show. I wasn't. I didn't
You're
mean
welcome
to,
in
but
here,
I
brother.
was.
Your
Well,
voice is as
it's always
important as
nice to talk.
anybody's.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to you, John. And I'm really sorry for the situation in your neighborhood. But yeah, you deserve so much better than that.
Well, it
So,
is what it is.
yeah.
It's I got to go out and mow my grass. That's always fun. I got to go outside the fence and go out there and mow the grass. Probably get 10 people drive by while I'm out there. Anyway, it is what it is, brother.
Yeah.
And they're not backing down. I don't back down. I just hope it's an easy truce.
No, you shouldn't back. You shouldn't back down.
No,
you're in the right and they're in the wrong. So that's it. Well,
Anyway.
see you later, John. Okay.
All right, take care of yourself, brother.
Thank you for allowing me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You bet. And Juanita.
Yeah,
Thank
John.
you, darling, for coming in.
Anytime. It's kind of, it's addicting.
It's just a table, baby. We sit around and we talk about whatever the hell comes up, and that's the way I like it. So.
But it's nice. It
is.
So.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, baby, we appreciate you coming in.
See you next time.
See you next time. And Silly Bebo.
Yes.
Thank you, darling, for coming in. Maybe next time I'll shut my mouth long enough for you to get a word in edgewise.
Oh, you're fine. It's all good. And next time I come in, I'll do a little more talkity talk.
Well, there you go. Come back, though. And I appreciate the support.
will.
You've been a long-time supporter, and I appreciate the hell out of that.
Well, I appreciate you and what you do. So thank you.
Well, mutual admiration then. There we go.
Hell yeah.
All right, baby. Thank you very much. And Miss Chick.
Yes, John.
Oh, Lordy. Made it through another one.
Yeah. Feels that way every day, doesn't it? Made it.
Doesn't it? Made it through another day. And no telling what tomorrow's going to bring.
Right.
That's the whole thing with this. Every day you wake up, the first thing I do is turn on my iPad and check the news, see what kind of drastic shit happened today.
Yeah, it's not a good habit. It really isn't.
No, it's not.
Taper it off. The news is going to be there all day long. So,
yeah. Well,
to
my own defense, when I leave here this evening, I'll go out there, probably eat a little something, and I will turn the TV on to either Discovery Channel, the Travel Channel, or the Comedy Channel. One of those three. I either try to watch a nature show or space, anything to do with with outer space, planets, satellites. I'm there.
anything other than.
Anything other than what's going on this planet. I'm more interested in the evening of what's happening on other planets.
We have to find a little breathing space for ourselves. It's going to drive us crazy. It's not going to do anybody any good if we're tired and frazzled and we don't do our best thinking, all wrapped up in it all the time.
That's true. So Saturday's usually the day I try to
recreate.
Not do anything.
Rest. Yeah, or watch a old movie that you haven't seen in a million years.
That's what I need to do. Watch old movies. Anyway, I just need to watch movies, period. Oh, hell.
Kind of like Edward G. Robinson. I kind of liked him.
Yeah. Coppers, something like that. Anyway, before we leave here, because I see somebody down there with their hand up. Obviously, he knows we're going right out the door, but so he must have something to say. So, Biker Leo, what's up, brother?
Yes, brother, I'm sorry. I know I'm late to the game. I've been politicking.
Oh, you've been politicking, have you?
Yeah, kind of big time. State party picking up a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, and I'm not going to be long, folks. We are at the cusp. We really are. And I'm sorry to be this late to the game, but I had to continue talking with the state people. We are at the cusp. We are facing a true constitutional crisis.
Indeed.
And with that, there is but one thing to do. John is doing it. Mrs. Chick, just by you being here, you're doing it. Abrego Garcia is in El Salvador. I don't know if he's alive or dead. Doesn't matter. Well, it does, but the simple fact is every one of us, John, you included, with what was said today, straight up, we are a target. And you know what about being a target? Fuck y'all. I don't care. I am still going to say this is the United States of America. We are a country based on the rule of law. And if you can't figure that out, I cannot be responsible for your stupidity. I just wanted to come in and say, we are doing the right thing, people. Keep doing it. Get involved.
That's it. That's it. Wise advice all of us should take. Be involved. Be informed. If there's a protest in your area, go to it. You'll meet people. You'll shake hands with people and be in good company. You'll walk away feeling better about being involved. So yeah,
And listen to the voices of reason. They're out there. Find the voices of reason.
Indeed.
I'm going to add to that, John. I'm going to add to that. You have, and I'm sorry, we have a country of two parties still. That I don't think that's the best way, but that's the case. If you have a Democratic Party in your area that is actually functioning and working, get involved.
Yep.
Find out where their meetings are. If they have people that are, they all have district representatives. That means your county has a number of voting districts. Each one has district representatives. Find out if they're all filled. If they aren't, be one. You gotta get in the fight. If you're not in the fight, we're gonna lose.
We can all be in this fight. Your voice is the most important voice
That's
in
the
this
whole
fight.
thing, brother. That's all I wanted to come in.
Yep.
Thank you for allowing me, and all y'all. I love you. Share this shit.
Share this shit. Leo, take care of yourself. Y'all can catch Leo on Biker Wisdom and Thoughts on Facebook, on YouTube. He uses his voice in this fight. We appreciate that. Anyway, Miss Chick?
Talk to you soon, bro.
You too. Take care of yourself, Leo. And Miss Chick.
Yeah, John.
I seen his hand down there. I figured he had something he wanted to say.
He doesn't usually come in and put his hand up if he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, right there at the end. So, yeah. But good on him. He needs to be in this fight. And he is. So.
And he is on the street.
On the street. And indeed, now he holds office. And so, yeah, he's walking the walk. He's not just talking. He's holding office.
Walking the walk. Using his voice, face.
Indeed. Anyway, is there anybody else that does shit that we should highlight?
Well, we have a lot of brave Facebooks, and there were 457 of them last count when I looked earlier today.
Wow.
That shared this shit.
457 people shared this shit. That's great. That's spreading the word, baby. We appreciate the hell out of that. We need to highlight some of those people.
Yeah, we appreciate Daryl M. from Georgia, Harry H. from Washington, Bob U. from Virginia, Julie B. from Maine, Amanda B. from California, and Sandy N. from Arkansas. They all shared this shit.
They all shared this shit, along with 400 some odd other people. What'd you say, 400? What? I'm sorry, I got distracted by my security camera over there. Somebody moved, and I had to go. Anyway,
well,
we appreciate the shit out of those people, and to The reason I like it so much isn't because of the numbers that we're going to get more family members. No, it's because if you shared this shit, if you're listening to this shit, if you participate in this shit, you're involved in this shit. And that's what we need. Need people motivated to be involved in this. So be that. Be involved and be a part of it. And Miss Chick, I can't thank you enough for everything you do, baby, every day. Every day.
It's my pleasure, John.
I'm sure it's not.
I'll say that anyway.
But thank you for saying that. Anyway, baby, I appreciate you so much. And to the rest of the family, thank you for being here. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for being informed. And thank you so much for what I do see in that chat, which is a lot of people saying hello and goodbye to each other when we come in here. So indeed, it is more like a family than anything. We even have a marriage in this family. So beat that, somebody. Anyway, Miss Chick, again, thank you. And yeah, we'll get through Wednesday and we'll come back on Thursday. So,
yep. Until then, like, share, and subscribe.
There you go. The buttons are right down there. Easy. You might get your name called out. Who knows? Anyway, I love you all. Thank you for being here. And try to start the day out the best way you can tomorrow. Put a smile on your face. Share that shit with somebody.